Hello there. So we are going to be doing a lesson called Solving Systems of Equations from 10.6. We're going to break this up over 2 days. So we're going to start with a problem set here, and then your next day will actually be the first day of the transition to hybrid. So for some of you, it will look very different. You will be in person with me at Nova with several of your classmates. For some of you, it will start looking different on Thursday. And for some of you, you will be staying in distance, and there will be a video posted on throughout those days off that we have. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I can't promise when that will go up, but you can expect to see a video talking about the different options as well as an email home and what your schedules are going to look like. So keep an eye out for that in the coming days. For today, let's get started. With your ready for notes, you'll notice in your notes that your homework is different than this. You'll notice that this is handwritten. Follow this homework schedule. So, we're going to talk about system of equations. So, a system of equations is a set of multiple equations. So, if you look at number 1, we've got 2 equations here, which is what makes it a system. We've got y equals 3x minus 4 and y equals 2x plus 1. And so this is a system is a set of equations that help to solve for multiple variables. So if you remember, we can only solve for one variable at a time. If we have several equations, you can solve for several variables. In this case, you'll notice we have 2 equations and we have 2 variables, x and y. The number of equations is equal to the number of variables that you can solve for. So if I have 13 variables, I need 13 equations. Number 1, determine if the ordered pair 5, 11 is a solution for the system of equations y equals 3x minus 4 and y equals 2x plus 1. So if we consider the point 5, 11, what this tells us is that 5 is our x value and 11 is our y value. Sometimes you might have different variables in x and y, but they're always going to be in alphabetical order. So if you have a and b, a would come first, and so on. So this says that x equals 5, y equals 11, and it's asking if something is a solution, so all you need to do is check. So we're going to start with the first equation, y equals 3x minus 4. And we're going to plug in our x and y values using x equals 5, y equals 11. So 11 equals 3 times 5 minus 4, and it's a question mark. Well, we can say then 11 would then be equal to 15 minus 4. Yep, so it's a solution for the first equation. Now the question is it a solution for the second? So we'll use the second equation. Plug in our same numbers. 11 is equal to 2 times 5 plus 1. And yes, because that would mean that 11 is equal to 10 plus 1, which is also true. So yes, 511 is a solution for this system. And in fact, it is the only solution for this system. Some systems will have more than one solution. Many will only have one. Now, this is nice because it just gave you the solution and said, okay, can you figure out if this is right or not? Now, what we can do is if we're given a system like this, we want to be able to solve it for ourselves. And the best way that I recommend for solving a system of equation is what's called the elimination method. And the idea here is to eliminate, and that's the same as cancel out, just like you would with any sort of solving, one of the variables so that you're just solving for one at a time. Now, the question is which one? We've got 3x plus 7y is equal to 8, and 6x minus 7y is equal to 37. Now, if you look here, these look like we're solving. These are already ready to cancel out, just like we would if we were solving a regular equation. Plus 7y minus 7y would cancel out, or in this case, we're going to use the word eliminate. So what you can do is you can then just say, all right, well, 3x plus 7y is equal to 8, and if 6x minus 7y is equal to 37, if I just add all my like terms, and you have to do everything just like you normally would for equations, you have to treat everything equally, the y terms cancel out, 3x plus 6x is 9x, and 8 plus 37 is 45. Divide both sides by 9, and this tells us that x is equal to 5. Sorry if there's noise in the background. Someone's mowing their lawn outside my window. This gives us our answer for x. Now, since we know what x is equal to, we can then solve for y. So what that means is I'm just going to plug this in to one of my equations. So I know, for example, 3x plus 7y is equal to 8. Well, if x is equal to 5, I can then say 3 times 5 plus 7y is equal to 8 and solve for y. So 15 plus 7y is equal to 8. Subtract 15 on both sides. 7y is equal to 8 minus 15, which is negative 7. Divide by 7, and I get y is equal to negative 1. Now, you'll see this looks just like what we had here. And our final answer we want to write as an ordered pair. That's how your answers will look in the back of the book. X is 5, y is negative 1, like so. Now, of course, sometimes they won't be as perfectly set up to eliminate as that one was. Here, if we look at number 3, it says solve 5a minus 2b is equal to 41, and 5a plus 3b is equal to 46. So again, we're looking here, 5a and 5a. Those look ready to cancel out, but instead of having the negatives mismatched, where we saw here, where it's positive and then negative, so they immediately canceled out, here we need to put in a negative. We need to subtract these equations, but if we subtract one term, we have to subtract all of them. Because it's still an equation, we treat things equally. So 5a minus 5a cancels out. Negative 2b plus negative 3b is negative 5b. You'll notice we were spending a lot of time practicing our negatives. And then equals 41 minus 46 is negative 5. Divide both sides by negative 5, and we get b is equal to 1. Now that we have one of our variables, we can plug it into one of our original equations. So in this case, 5a minus 2b is equal to 41. Going to substitute 1 in for b, so 5a minus 2 times 1 is 41. So 5a minus 2 is equal to, 41. Add 2 to both sides. 5a is equal to 43. And divide by 5 on both sides. We get 43 over 5, which is a totally fine final answer. Some of you might want to convert it into a mixed number or a decimal. So it would be as equally correct to say 8.6 is our value for A. Now remember, in our ordered pair, the alphabetically first letter comes first, so A is first. So it would be 8.6, and then B, comma 1. On our last example, we have 4w plus 6y is equal to negative 22, and 8w plus 3y is equal to negative 8. And here, neither of our variables are ready to be canceled out. But what we can notice is we can say, oh, well, this is 6y and this is 3y. And so we can decide to multiply everything by 2. Because what that's going to mean is that these are then going to be equal. If you wanted to cancel out w, you would have multiplied the first one by 2. Both of those would work as strategies. So I get the first equation stays the same in the case that I picked, which is 4w plus 6y is equal to negative 22. And for the second equation, I'm multiplying everything by 2. So then 16w plus 6y is equal to negative 16. So you can think about it as using the distributive property to the 8w, 3y, and negative 8. Now my y's are ready to be canceled out, but one's still positive and one's negative. And if you want to make the top one the negative one, you absolutely can. Notice how then the 22 becomes positive. The y's will cancel out, and I end up with negative 4w plus 16w is equal to 22 minus 16. The reason I made that upper one the positive one is now we have positive. So negative 4w plus 16, that's the same. It's sometimes easier to have the positive one first. 16 minus 4. So that becomes 12w. 22 minus 16 is going to be 6. Divide both sides, we get 6 over 12, which means that w is equal to 1/2 as its simplified term. Now I want to solve there, so I'm going to plug into my original, which is 4w plus 6y is equal to negative 22. Right, that's just this first equation that was given to me up here. W we now know is equal to 1/2. So 4 times 1/2 is equal to 6y equals negative 22. Plus 6y, I apologize for that. So 2 plus 6y is equal to negative 22. Subtract 2 from both sides. 6y is equal to negative 24. And so y is equal to negative 4 when we divide both sides by 6. W comes first in the alphabet, so 1/2, comma, negative 4 is our final answer. This is a complicated topic. I know this is a longer video, so feel free to spread out this lesson over a little bit of time to get your practice in. If you're stuck, I'll still be checking my email and everything over the long weekend as I prepare for hybrid. So if you want to extend time, ask questions during that time, I'll get back to you as soon as I can, though it probably won't be as quickly as you're used to.